Hi and hello everyone, this is Ravindra Babu. Welcome back to my channel Silver 90s Bionit. In the last video, we were discussing the historical background in deciphering of a genetic code. Today, in this part of videos of molecular basis of inheritance, we are going to talk about the 64 triplet codons of a genetic code coding for 20 types of amino acids in a polypeptide chain through this checkerboard. In this video, I am also going to tell you a trick to remember the specificity of the 64 triplet codons of genetic code coding for 20 types of amino acids of a polypeptide chain. Here, you no need to by heart that a UUU triplet codon codes for a phenylalanine, ACU for isoleucine and GUA for valine. Before we going to start this, here a small request from my side. Kindly watch all my videos made on this molecular basis of inheritance so that you can understand the concepts clearly and completely. And one more request is, please like and share the videos and subscribe my channel. Let's get into our today's topic, that is the checkerboard of a genetic code, showing the positions of 3 nucleotides of a triplet codon. This is the first position of 3 nucleotides of a triplet codons. This is the second position of 3 nucleotides of triplet codons, and this is the third position of 3 nucleotides of triplet codons. So this is the first position of 3 nucleotides of triplet codon, which means the 4 nucleotides of this vertical column represents the first nucleotide of a triplet codon. This is the second position of 3 nucleotides of triplet codons, which means the nucleotides of this horizontal column represents the second nucleotide of a triplet codon. And lastly, this is the third position of 3 nucleotides of a triplet codons, which means this nucleotides of this vertical column represents the third nucleotide of a triplet codon. Likewise, the second triplet codon of this box is, this is the first nucleotide U, the second nucleotide U, and the third nucleotide C. This UUC also code for an amino acid phenylalanine. And let's come to the third triplet codon of this box. This is the first nucleotide U, the second nucleotide U, and the third nucleotide A. UUA is a triplet codon which codes for leucine. And the fourth triplet codon of this box is U, the first nucleotide, U, the second nucleotide, and G as the third nucleotide, which makes a triplet codon UUG, which also codes for an amino acid leucine here. Likewise, by using the position of 3 nucleotides of triplet codons, you can write all the 64 triplet codons of a genetic code in the form of this checkerboard, which consists of 16 boxes in 4 vertical columns and 4 triplets for each box. After drawing this checkerboard, what we need to do is just we need to remember the 2 points. Those are, one is order of amino acids in 4 vertical columns. These are the 4 vertical columns of a checkerboard. So this is the first vertical column of checkerboard. The order of amino acids of this first vertical column are phenylalanine, leucine, leucine, isoleucine, methionine, and valine. And the second point to remember is the number of parts in a box that an amino acid occupies. So this is the first box of a first vertical column. Here I am dividing this box into 4 parts for 4 triplet codons. First part, second part, third part, and fourth part. Here the amino acid phenylalanine is occupying the first 2 parts, or the first half of this first box of first vertical column, which means the first 2 triplet codons of this box coding for the amino acid phenylalanine. What are the triplet codons coding for phenylalanine? UUU, UUC. Here you don't need to remember that UUU and UUC are the triplet codons coding for a phenylalanine. What you need to remember? You need to remember that first half of the first box of first vertical column is being occupied by the amino acid phenylalanine. Whatever the triplet codons may come here, those codes for the amino acid phenylalanine. Actually, the UUU and UUC comes in the first half of the first box of first vertical column to code amino acid phenylalanine. Likewise, the second half of the first box of first vertical column, which means the third triplet codon and fourth triplet codon, are actually coding for the amino acid leucine. Nothing but the second half of the first box of first vertical column is being occupied by leucine. Likewise, the second box of first vertical column is entirely occupied by leucine, which means whatever the triplet codons, 4 triplet codons of this box are actually coding for the amino acid leucine. You know what type of triplet codons comes here. You need to just remember the second box of first vertical column is occupied by the amino acid leucine, and the third box of first vertical column here, the 3/4 of this third box is being occupied by the amino acid isoleucine, which means the first 3 triplet codons codes for the amino acid isoleucine, and the last 1/4 part of this third box of first vertical column is occupied by the amino acid methionine, which means the triplet codon AUG is coding for the amino acid methionine. The AUG is the first triplet codon on the mRNA molecule, and this methionine is the first amino acid being synthesized during the mechanism of translation. And one more thing is, this methionine amino acid is a sulfur containing amino acid along with the amino acid cysteine, and this is one of the amino acid which is coded by a single triplet codon, that is AUG. And the fourth box of the first vertical column is entirely occupied by the amino acid valine, which means the 4 triplet codons GU, U, GU, C, GU, A and GUG are coding for the amino acid valine. And when we come to the second vertical column of this checkerboard of a genetic code, the order of amino acids in this vertical column are serine, proline, threonine and alanine. The first box of second vertical column is entirely occupied by the amino acid serine, means these 4 triplet codons of this box are coding for the amino acid serine. Likewise, the 4 triplet codons of second box of a second vertical column coding for the amino acid proline, and the 4 triplet codons of a third box of a second vertical column is entirely coding for the amino acid threonine, and the 4 triplet codons of the fourth box of a second vertical column are coding for the amino acid alanine. Here it is very easy to remember this order of amino acids of this second vertical column. Just you need to by heart Sir, Pro, Tr, La, Sir, Pro, Tr, La, Sir, Pro, Tr, La, like that. When we come to the third vertical column of the checkerboard of a genetic code, the order of amino acids of this third vertical column are tyrosine and stop codons, histidine, glutamine, aspargine, lysine, aspartic acid and glutamic acid. Though this vertical column consists of so many amino acids, but it is very easy to remember the order of these amino acids. First, let us come to the first box of this third vertical column. The tyrosine is the amino acid which occupies the first half of this first box of third vertical column, means the first 2 triplet codons whichever comes in this box codes for the amino acid tyrosine, and the next third and fourth triplet codons of this box are UAA and UAG. This UAA and UAG are the stop codons which doesn't code for any amino acid during the process of translation, but involves in the termination of a translation process. This UAA is otherwise called ocre and UAG as amber. The triplet codon UAG amber was the first discovered stop codon. This is about the first box. And if you come to second box, the first half of the second box is being occupied by the amino acid histidine, and the second half of the second box of third vertical column is occupied by glutamine, and the third box, the first half of this third box is occupied by asparagine, and second half of this third box is being occupied by lysine, and the fourth box, the first half is occupied by aspartic acid, and the second half of this fourth box of third vertical column is being occupied by glutamic acid. Here the question is how to remember the order of these amino acids in this third vertical column. It is very simple to remember this order of amino acids of a third vertical column. If we come to first box of this third vertical column, here we can remember the tyrosine and stop codons in a funny way. As the first half of this first box of third vertical column is occupied by a tyrosine, this tyrosine says thair. In Hindi, thair means stop, so that immediately the stop codons UAA, UAG comes. And if you come to the third box and fourth box, here the third box, the first half is being occupied by histidine, and in the third box, the second half is being occupied by lysine. This histidine and lysine are the basic amino acids or positively charged amino acids. And in the fourth box, aspartic acid and glutamic acid. These are the acidic amino acids or negatively charged amino acids which occupies entirely the fourth box of a third vertical column. First half by aspartic acid, second half by glutamic acid. Then what about this glutamine and asparagine? Actually this glutamine and asparagine are the derivatives of aspartic acid and glutamic acids respectively. Glutamine occupies the second half of the second box of a third vertical column, whereas the asparagine occupies the first half of third box of third vertical column. Finally, you can observe the 2 points in this third vertical column. The each box is being separated into 50-50. First half is occupied by one amino acid, second half is occupied by another amino acid. And the second point is the amino acid whatever present here are mostly the acidic amino acids, basic amino acids and the derivatives of acidic amino acids except the tyrosine and stop codons. And if you come to the last vertical column, fourth vertical column of genetic code, the first box of this fourth vertical column occupied by the amino acid cysteine. The cysteine is the amino acid which occupies the first half of the first box of fourth vertical column, nothing but two triplet codons. The first two triplet codons codes for the amino acid cysteine. And the third part of this box of fourth vertical column codes for a stop codon, that is opal. Here the triplet codon is UGA. UGA is the third part of this first box of fourth vertical column coding for a stop codon opal. And the fourth part of this first box of fourth vertical column is coding for the amino acid tryptophan. The triplet codon of tryptophan is UGG. This entire second box is occupied by the amino acid arginine, nothing but whatever the triplet codons present in this second box of fourth vertical column codes for the amino acid arginine. And again the third box of this vertical column is separated into 50-50. The first half is being occupied by the amino acid serine. Here the serine is having the two triplet codons in fourth vertical column and four triplet codons in the second vertical column, nothing but it is coded by 6 triplet codons. And finally the last box of fourth vertical column is entirely occupied by amino acid glycine. The triplet codons GGU, GGC, GGA, GGG codes for the amino acid glycine. So in this way, just by remembering the order of amino acids in each vertical column and how many parts that an amino acid occupies in each box of this checkerboard, You can easily say the specificity of this all 64 triplet codons to 20 amino acids. And now let us come to the degeneracy of genetic code, which means more than one triplet codons codes for one amino acid, as there are 64 triplet codons and just only 20 amino acids. First let us see the amino acids coded by a single codon coded amino acids. There are only two amino acids coded by a single triplet codon. Those are methionine and tryptophan. The methionine and tryptophan and the amino acids coded by two codons are 9 in number. Those are phenylalanine, tyrosine, histidine, glutamine, asparagine, lysine, glutamic acid, aspartic acid and cysteine. How many are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the amino acids coded by 3 codons, 3 codon coded amino acids. How many amino acids are there like that? Only the one amino acid, that is isoleucine. And the amino acids coded by 4 codons. 4 codon coded amino acids are 5 in number. Those are valine, proline, threonine and alanine and glycine. And there is no amino acids coded by 5 types of triplet codons. And the last one is the amino acids coded by 6 codons. There are only 3 types of amino acids which are coded by 6 triplet codons. Those are serine, here 4 and there 2, arginine and leucine. Total how many amino acids here? 2 plus 9, 11, 1, 12, 12, 5, 17, 17, 3, 20. 20 amino acids. Total how many codons here? 2 ones are 2, 9 twos are 18 and 3 ones are 3 and 5 fours are 20 and 3 6 are 18. Total 61 triplet codons coding for 20 amino acids. Remaining 3 codons are the stop codons which do not code for any amino acids. So that totally how many triplet codons here? 64 triplet codons. Along with this, the last point to remember regarding this genetic code is the triplet codons UUU, CCC, AA and GGG. The UUU is a triplet codon which codes for the amino acid phenylalanine, which is the first triplet code of first box of first vertical column. What is this? First triplet code of first box of first vertical column. And if we come to CCC, CCC codes for what? Proline, which is the second triplet codon of second box of second vertical column. And AAA is a triplet codon which codes for the amino acid lysine, which is the third triplet codon of third box of third vertical column. Right? And GGG is the triplet codon codes for the amino acid glycine, which is the fourth triplet codon of fourth box of fourth vertical column. This is all for today's video. In the next video, we are going to talk about the properties of a genetic code. Thanks for watching this video. Please like and share the videos and subscribe the channel. Vidyaya Amrutam Ashrute.